Hillary Clinton telling the nation last night during a commander-in-chief forum that no U.S. ground troops will go into Iraq or Syria ever again. But it turns out there are already nearly 5,000 U.S. troops in Iraq as we speak, helping to coordinate the fight against ISIS. In fact, President Obama sending another 400 into Iraq just this past weekend. Garrett Tenney is live in Washington. Garrett, so what did Clinton mean by ever again?
Well, Sandra, it's like my wife said to me right after we were married. Forever is a really long time. So it's quite a bold statement to make. But to add some context to her answer, though, this came in response to an answer from an Army veteran's question, asking Hillary Clinton how she would decide when and where to send U.S. troops, particularly in the war against ISIS. Here's part of her answer.
They are not going to get ground troops. We are not putting ground troops into Iraq ever again, and we're not putting ground troops into Syria. We're going to defeat ISIS without committing American ground troops.
As you mentioned, though, that statement ignores the fact that there are already U.S. troops on the ground in both Iraq and Syria. According to the Pentagon, there are currently more than 4,400 U.S. troops on the ground in Iraq, and the president has already approved the deployment of several hundred more to help the Iraqi army prepare to retake the city of Mosul later this year. In Syria, there are currently around 300 U.S. Special Operations Forces on the ground, and as of right now, the administration does not have any plans to scale down those troop numbers before President Obama leaves office. Sandra?
All right, and Garrett, is Clinton backtracking her comments at all today?
She isn't, and in fact, she's doubling down on them. At a press conference this morning, she was asked if she would stand by her plan even if the generals advised against it. Take a listen.
I think putting a big contingent of American ground troops on the ground in Iraq and Syria would not be in the best interest of the fight against ISIS and other terrorist groups.
We should point out that while it's entirely possible that Clinton may have meant to say the U.S. will never send combat forces on the ground, which is how the Obama administration defines U.S. forces in both Iraq and Syria as non-combat forces, that's a distinction that she has yet to make. Sandra?
All right, Garrett Tenney, thank you.
You got it.
Stick with us for the latest.